the UK's energy crisis is set to worsen the country's cost of living crisis. With the winter a few months away, energy price increase due in October, inflation levels might break records. Financial experts at US-based Citibank predict the country's inflation levels could reach 18% in January next year.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Salah, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing 7 tips to survive the cost of living crisis in the UK right now. So I don't know about you guys, but in the last couple of months in the UK, all I have been hearing is cost of living crisis. And in as much as I have tried to ignore it, I cannot deny the fact that somewhere in my mind, I am thinking about it. And I think that it's come more to my consciousness again now, because I've also been hearing that energy bills is going to go higher in October, and that's just like next month. And I remember my first energy bill in February when I first moved to my apartment. It was really cold during that period, and I saw my utility bill and I was so concerned because over 60% of my utility bill was on heating alone. And I was just thinking to myself, with energy bill going higher in October, this is going to be crazy high if I'm not careful. Thankfully, some people did share some tips with me on how to reduce my energy bill, and I'm going to be including that in some of the tips that I'm going to be sharing today. So if you're a new immigrant in the UK, or if you're thinking of moving to the UK, these are some things that may be able to help you survive this cost of living crisis, because it's looking real. So the first one we have to look at is the largest living expense that anyone is going to have to incur, and that is rent. So if you're moving to the UK and you have people that you can live with for free, I will advise you to live with those people. Or maybe you can explore other options like living in a house share to reduce your rent, or maybe moving outside the city to also reduce your rent. But it's important for you to pay attention to your largest cost of living, especially if you don't have a lot of money. So if you can really save up on that, that will really help you. Now let's look at energy bills. Now energy bills went up in April, and they said it's also going to go up in October and also in January of 2023. And I'm looking at my energy bill during the summer when I was not even using any form of heating because the weather was good. And it's giving me a bit of concern that by the time winter hits, my bill might be going overboard. This is the bit that is really concerning to a lot of people, because winter is coming, and usually during the winter people pay more because they use heating a lot in the house. So one of the tips that I'm going to share is turn off all the appliances that you're not using. You never can tell how much money you'll be able to save. Another thing that I would advise you to do is that you use appliances like dishwashers or washing machines during off-peak energy hours. It might be between like 12 midnight and 6 a.m. So you can load your washing machine when you're going to bed, and that way you can save some money. And if you're not as lazy as I am, please wash your plates with your hands and don't use a dishwasher. Another way you can significantly save on energy bills, and which was how I was able to save some money after I got the initial scary energy bill back in February. And I spoke to a couple of friends, and then they shared with me that they do have like special really thick warm clothing that they wear indoors. So I invested in buying like a really thick house coat. When I tell you how much this house coat saved me in energy bills, you will not believe it. Because what was happening to me was that I was turning on all the heating in the house, and I have like 3 radiators in the house. But with this, I only need to turn on one. Once I'm wearing this around the house, I feel so warm, and it has a lot of fleece inside. Now, I got this from a store that was closing down, but I'm sure that you can get this in any store. If you can invest in 1 or 2 of this, it will save you a whole lot. Whew, that was hot. Speaking of clothing, one of the ways that I'm saving money as well is that I have been doing some of my winter shopping since summer. So usually during summer, winter clothes are cheaper. They are always on sale. So I have been doing my winter shopping in bits, so I don't have to go and spend a lot more money when everyone is now trying to shop for the winter season. So a lot of winter clothes are still on sale right now, so I would advise you to go and start doing your shopping now. If you're really cash strapped, I would advise that maybe you explore shopping from like charity shops. Now, people have found gems, real gems in some of these charity stores, so don't be afraid to explore this option to save yourself some money. So now, let's talk about grocery shopping, because cost of living crisis or not, we have to eat. So one of the things that I do is that I shop my essential groceries from like bargain stores like Lidl. And this is because for me, pepper is pepper everywhere, chicken is chicken everywhere, you know, vegetables are vegetables everywhere. And in Lidl, for example, they are like much cheaper than stores like Sainsbury's or Co-op, where you may be spending a lot more money. So if I really need a specific brand of something that is not in Lidl, then I can go and spend a bit more money on it in another store. But bulk of my essentials, I will buy my fruits in a really cheap store like Lidl, and then buy any other thing that I'm particular about in any other store around me. And this may be something that you want to explore as well. I know that if I go to Lidl with £30, usually my shopping trolley is full, and if I go with the same amount to a store like Sainsbury's, I am coming back with half my shopping bag. So if I'm not particular about a brand that I can only find in any of these more expensive stores, then I'm just going to go and buy them in a bargain store. So look for a bargain store around you and then do bulk of your shopping from there to save some money. Another thing that I have done is that I have audited my expenses, and I've noticed that there's certain subscriptions that are no longer necessary for me, and I've been canceling them. And this may be something that you want to explore as well. I noticed that I had subscriptions for like 3 entertainment platforms. I had Netflix, I had Prime, and I also had Disney Plus, and I also had like this subscription that I pay £10 every month to call Nigeria, and it was just not making sense that I had all these subscriptions and I was barely using all of them. So I've cancelled 2 of the subscriptions and now I'm left with 2. So if you can do an audit of your recurring expenses and then start to cancel the ones that you think that you absolutely don't need, it may save you some money. Another way that you can save yourself some money during this cost of living crisis is to practice more DIY. Now, since I moved here, I have realized that this is a thing here. Like, if you are not used to doing some things yourself, you just realize that you'll be paying a lot of money in the long run. So anything you think that you can do yourself, try as much as possible to do them yourself and only pay for services that you absolutely have to, because in the long run, again, all these things, they're going to add up. So maybe instead of taking all your kids to the barber's shop, you want to watch some YouTube videos on how to barb hair for your kids if you don't know how to, and then you can barb your kids' hair at home. Or maybe instead of asking someone to come clean your house every weekend, you want to maybe reduce that to maybe twice a month, and then you do twice yourself. Or maybe you want to even start doing some of these things yourself to save yourself some money. So speaking of DIY, this next tip is still about doing stuff yourself. We all know that when we do order in or we go out to eat, we spend a lot more money. So maybe during this period, you want to try and cook at home more. So if you have to meal prep, I would advise you to do so that you're not forced to go and order food because you're so hungry and then you have nothing cooked in the house. So you want to cut back on the number of times that you order in or that you eat out as well. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't go out and have fun. This just means that you want to be very conscious about how you're spending money right now. The last thing I'm going to share is, if you're not able to save money, then maybe you want to think about making more money. So if you have been sitting down on the idea of starting your side hustle, this might be the time for you to psych yourself up and start that side hustle, whatever it is, because every penny counts. And even if it's not for cost of living crisis, I think in the long run, you only have everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose if you do have an extra stream of income. If there are other ways that you guys are saving money in this UK, please share with your girl, because I need all the information that I can about how to survive this cost of living crisis, because a girl needs help too. Anyways, I've come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.